Okay, so today we are talking about video 14 that create a graphical representation of a network. So for that I used draw.io, which has already has a template to create a graphical interface. So when you want to implement any networks, so you can, if you want to draw on a paper, so there's a draw.io which is very good for that. So I use that. So the first one is 14.1, create a graphical representation of the typical home network. So I created a home network which has internet, which is on cloud. It's a firewall which protects it from the viruses and stuff, and filters out the data that is coming into router, and that is router will connect to the like the computers and laptops and printers and mobile wirelessly. So that's just a home network, typical home network. uh, the the second thing, just 1 second, the 14.2 is the thing is identify the commonly used symbols that represent the elements of network. Well, that's first one is switches and bridges. That is generic network diagram is something like that. This is a graphical, and the Cisco network represented in there as this. That's a content services switch, bridge, and multi-service. So that's how the Cisco networks is. So the other one, the routers. So there is generic network diagrams like this, then AWS network diagrams, something like that, and Cisco always does like that. Okay, so databases, which is AWS network diagram icon, something like that, simple. Amazon generic like that, and Cisco is just a bit. Okay, so connectors and devices. So generic networks have connectors, Ethernet connections, diagnosis device, LCD monitors like that. AWS has, Cisco networks has laptops, printers, and terminals like that. Okay, identify the elements of a network. So the first one is servers. Servers are the computers that hold and share the files, programs, and the network's operating system. Server provide the access to network resource to the users of the network. So this is the elements of the networks. There is a lot of them, but I just mentioned few. So clients are the computers that access and use the networks and share network resources. Client computer are basically the customers of the networks, as they requested and receive the services from the servers. Network operating systems. So network operating system is the program that runs on a computer, and the servers allow the computer to communicate over the network. Hub is the device that splits the network to connection into multiple computers. So it is like the distribution center. It manages where the request information is coming from and where it is sending to. The cable, the hub will receive the request from a transmit into a network. Each computer in the network should then figure out whether the broadcast data is for them or not. Router is one of them. When we talk about a computer network concept, the other device used to connect to LAN or internet connection called a router. When we have distinct network LANs or not to share single internet connection to multiple computers, we use router. In most cases, recent routers also include the switches, which in the router's word it's used as a switch. A LAN cable is a local area network cable. It's also known as data cable, Ethernet cable, which is wired cable to connect devices to the internet, and computers and printers and etc. So that's a LAN cable. Typically you find in any networks it's required. Okay, so that's the graphical representation 14.4 for the typical small business. So that's a user, the laptop and printers. That's the switches which divides. That's a router, and which is connected to the Wi-Fi router that manages all the wireless activities. And the router is connected to server, and there's a two switches which is different which is differentiate this two networks. Okay, so that's it for the video 14. Thank you for watching.